Hello and welcome to tonight's stream. It'll be a short one as I did manage to pick up COVID at Celebration, and while I'm testing negative now, which is a good thing, left me a little bit on the tired side, so I'm not going to be streaming for a full hour. Krogan, hello, welcome. So what I thought I would do is revisit Chapter 1 with a director's commentary, but it's going to be the version of Chapter 1 that I released earlier this year, which was rendered to match the current quality of the series. So we'll see how different that looks from the original. I did consider trying to play both videos side by side, but I wasn't quite sure how to pull that off. But I did go to Celebration. I had a great time, despite the COVID, and yeah, it's nice to see lots of friends I haven't seen for a long time. Made some new ones. Got to see the Ahsoka panel in person, which meant I got to see the extended trailer, which has his face visible in it. Unfortunately, they're not going to release that online, but if you know what Lars Mikkelsen looks like, just imagine him blue with red eyes, and that's what Thrawn looks like. I am not changing my character model to look like him. I'm keeping this particular model because this is my take on Thrawn. If I was just starting this, I might have gone with Lars, but this is how I've got Thrawn looking, and I'm sticking with it. Looking forward. Thoughts on the Ahsoka trailer? Looks very exciting. I look forward to seeing it in August. Interested to see who these new lightsaber wielding characters are. We've got some character names, but at the panel they were very secretive on anything else regarding the characters. So, well, that's kind of typical, really, isn't it? They don't want to give away spoilers, which just makes sense. So I guess we have to wait and see the series to learn more about them too. But it's obviously this guy's the one that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And I just realised you're probably not seeing where I'm making the mouse, but it should be pretty obvious. I was pointing at Thrawn on the stream. How was your day? Pretty tiring, but not terrible. I'll be looking forward to being fully recovered from COVID, so back to my normal self. I hope they use that creature that stops Thrawn, that's in Thrawn's shoulder for the Ahsoka show. The Issa Lemiri. And also, Dino World, hello and welcome. Yeah, it'd be nice to see the Issa Lemiri make an appearance. Obviously the trailer, both versions of the trailer which I've seen, Thrawn is in it so briefly that you don't really get to see anything of what he's doing. So in the trailer that you all saw, you just see the back of his head. At the Ahsoka panel, they showed a different version of the trailer where you see the front of his face. But again, it's only about 2 or 3 seconds, so you don't really get a good glimpse of anything about him. What do you think of the most recent episode of Mando? I'm going to keep it vague because anyone watching this who hasn't seen it yet, don't want to spoil it for them. But it was nice to see a character from Heir to the Empire make his live action appearance. And I don't mean Thrawn. I thought the actor they chose for him would not have been my first choice based on other roles. But when you see him play that character in that scene, he is really good. as that character. I'm deliberately keeping it vague because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Other than I was really pleased to see that. Of course, we've only got one more episode to go on Wednesday this week. It's interesting to see where that goes. And then we've got a long wait for season 4, but at least we've got Ahsoka to finish, or to continue this particular era. So I guess there's that. Of course, you never know if Mando and Grogu will show up in Ahsoka. I mean, they do like to make sure Grogu appears in other places, so we'll have to wait and see. Excuse me. Like I said, recovering from COVID, so I'm going to wait a few more minutes before I do the commentary to give people a chance to join us. Yeah. One of the things I noticed that one of the things that happened at this celebration, I did cosplay as Thrawn. Don't we have any pictures of I can show you right now? Hang on. Thank you for all the hard work and effort since bringing the OG Thrawn to life. If you had to speculate how the presence of the Shadow Council helped hinder Thrawn. I think Thrawn has set the Shadow Council up to do his to cause minor problems for the New Republic and just to keep them off balance a little bit. Obviously, we've seen that they're not really happy that he's not around yet, but I think once he makes his presence felt, that they will, most of them will fall in line, and those that don't will probably be dealt with quite quickly. Peace Treaty was just feeling nostalgic for Star Wars, and but on trip to Naboo Temple, then see you streaming on the main page. Well, that's some good timing there. Channel Kyle Katarn has reacted to over 100 Star Wars fan films. Please ask him to react to yours. That is a good idea. Let me make a note. Thank you. Nikolai, thank you so much for that. I've made a note and I'll see if I can reach out to him later after the stream. I was just feeling nostalgic for Star Wars. Oh, I've read that already. Yeah, Peace Treaty. I'm glad that you're here and that's good timing. Krogan says, hey, do you get any Star Wars Lego sets recently? I have not. They did have, at Celebration, they had a stand selling Lego. The queue was massive, so I didn't bother with it. But what I like to do is, on the week of May the 4th, the official Lego site, and if you go into on the stores, they have special offers on and freebies that are only available that week. Last week they had Aunt Beru's Kitchen with an Aunt Beru minifigure, and you could only get it that week, and then it was never available again. So I'm waiting for that week to get my hands on some of these new Lego sets. And of course I have to decide which ones they're going for. Hi Phil, can't stay but want to say a quick hello before I head home from work. We'll be sure to watch this later. Well, I hope you enjoy it, Phil. Phil Rice is a very good friend of mine from the machinima community. You should check out his channel. Which is ZS Overman. And he's got some excellent machinima films, including Male Restroom Etiquette, which I think that's one of his first films that I remember seeing and it's a very unforgettable film in the best possible way. But he's done so many other good films as well, so go and check out ZS Overman on YouTube. Or ZS Overman for you Americans listening in. Anyway, I think it's time... You're most welcome, Phil. I think it's time to get started on this commentary. I'm going to be talking about the differences between this version of Chapter 1 and the original one which I released back in 2019. Obviously this is rendered again. I took everything and just rendered it again, but there were things that didn't translate over to Omniverse, such as the effects, so those had to be done again. And I updated the character models, but which is basically take the new one, drop it over the top of the old one, and all the animation is automatically transferred. So it's very easy to swap them around. Darth Phildrius. So all of the Imperials and Sith will be ruled on my empire for lightning shielded Star Destroyers as my empire continues. Well, good. It's good to protect your Star Destroyers. Alright, let's get started on this commentary. Hang on, there we go. So these are the same models that I used before. The Star Destroyer is new, or replaced, but the assault gunboats are the same ones as before. So I'm also using this version of the Chimera with the design underneath it. Shiny ray trace floors.
Captain Heir. Nasty Rook. What do you think you're doing?
Updated Pelion. Updated Rook. Previously, Pelion's moustache was just drawn on. Now he's actually got a big bushy moustache, which is a 3D model stuck on his face. It looks a lot better. Also updated his hat to a much more detailed and accurate one. And of course, the latest Thrawn model as well. The shadowing is very well done. Thank you. It's all ray traced, rendered with NVIDIA Omniverse. So the lighting is real, or it behaves like real lighting. Got the fractal images for the alien art, because I'm not an alien artist. Also, I really like the way the lights under Thrawn's chair reflect on the ground. Just tiny little details. I kept all the sounds the same because I lost the original project file. So I just overlaid the original sound on top of the new footage. Also kept the X-Wing tactical icons for the holograms. Because they're from the X-Wing game. So you got to see some of the new particle effects that I had to learn how to create in Omniverse. They look a lot better than the explosions I was using before, because those ones don't translate over to Omniverse from iClone, so I had to use Omniverse's own effects, which is fine. I mean, they look real. That looked like a real explosion there, so That was the goal. I'm gonna take a quick drink of water.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
I did change the lighting in the Thrawn's chamber as well, because when I watched the first one, it's really dark to the point that it's hard to see anything. I know it's meant to be dimly lit, but you still need to see the characters.
But the rest is nothing but a passing mark in the treasure room. They're not going to fall for anything, that's all.
I should have tilted Pelion's head just there, because the brim of his hat's covering his face a little bit too much. Never mind. I do like how much clearer the ships have rendered. Of course, that also is true of the character scenes as well. Like they just look sharper somehow. I'm sure there's a technical word for it, but I don't know what it is. But I'm really pleased with how this space battle there is turning out. Good things to come later on in the book. It's one of the reasons I wanted to do this was to learn how to do those effects, because I'm going to be using a lot of them in the near future. Now this particular shot I'm really proud of is when the two ships crash into each other and you get all the debris flying off.
Sounds like the Aurora Sky.
So I did it as a test to learn these features, and I thought, well, I don't want to just sit on this. I'm going to let you guys enjoy it as well. At some point, well, I'll wait till this is finished before I continue that one. And you can see all the detail in his face, like the little pores and all that kind of stuff, which didn't really show up so well previously. Again, it's the ray tracing does some rather wonderful things. And that's the end of chapter 1. Alright, so I'm going to pause it there and then I can carry on talking. So eventually I'm going to re-render the rest of chapter 1 to 16. Oh, chapter 2 to 16, I guess. But at the moment my focus has been on continuing the story, but it was important to be able to learn those effects, as I said, for later on in the story. And I thought I want people to be able to enjoy the updated chapter 1. I did get some people concerned, thinking I'd given up. No, I did have a legitimate reason for going back and rendering this again. It was definitely worth the time it took. It didn't actually take that long. Once I learned how to do the explosions and laser effects. But yeah, eventually I will do a special edition of part 1. Let's see, let's answer the chat a bit. Peace Treaty can't wait. I can't either. I'm really looking forward to the big battle scene. Official, Valen, everything looks sharper. I can't wait to see how you continue to bring the story alive with this artistry. Me neither. So, chapter 23 is the next one. I'm still waiting for one set of recordings to be able to finish it. But I've done a lot of it. I do need to render one scene again because I got a better model to go in it. But that's something I'll just leave overnight. Chapter 25 is finished. Chapter 27 is finished. In theory, I could release them now, but that'll be out of order. So I'm just sitting on them, with the idea that when I get to there, I can release them in quick succession. What's the name of the second? Well, that's already been answered. Dark Forces Rising. See, we have I think I got myself a copy of the second book right now. Well, I can tell you that reading the second book will be faster than waiting for me to animate it, because I haven't finished book 1 yet. And the third book is The Last Command. While we're at it, Darth Fildralis. Let me try that again. Darth Phil. Hang on. Fildralis. I believe that's how you pronounce your name, and I hope I got that right. I would say yes, Thrawn would be very impressed by the forces you've got under your command. But yeah, if you Krogan, if you do have The Last Command, Dark Forces Rising, definitely read that rather than wait for me to get to it. And then, of course, The Last Command, I'll be even faster to read it then, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to that point. But yeah, this has been a really good project to be working on for the last few years. And of course, the Ahsoka trailer has resulted in a massive spike in people watching, which makes me happy. And there's another spike of views last Wednesday after the character I was previously being vague about getting their first appearance in The Mandalorian, and I'm still going to be vague about that, but it again created a nice little boost for Heir to the Empire, which makes me happy. I wonder what's going to happen when the Ahsoka appears, and when her show actually starts. What's that going to do to this channel? I guess we have to wait till August to find out, but I'm glad it does mean more people are finding Heir to the Empire, and if they find my videos and then they go and read the book, that's a good thing. Well, I'll probably wait for you to finish animating the first book so I can actually know what's going on before I read the second. Fair enough. Scott, where and when is Mara Jade going to be in this chapter? Mara Jade is not in chapter 1. She appears in chapter 3. I'm not doing the commentary on that. I've already done the commentary on chapter 3 a while back, but I just wanted to revisit chapter 1, but with the updated re-rendered version that I released earlier this year, because I missed streaming, because I was at Celebration last week, so I couldn't, and I'm recovering from COVID, so I can't do a full hour-long stream like I normally would, because I don't think I'd be up for that. I'm testing negative now, but I still need that time to heal and recover. So yeah, Scott, carry on watching the channel. Chapter 3 has been released. Mara Jade's in it, and she's in chapter 9 briefly. I think it's 9. And then in chapter 18, I think it is, we see her again, and she's been in a lot of the chapters since then. including the most recent one, which was 22, and she'll be in the next one, which is 23. How prominent do you expect Mount Tantus to play in Thrawn's reemergence, since it's been featured so prominently in the Bad Batch, and likely will again in Season 3? Do you expect it will return? I don't think it will be a huge part of Ahsoka, because obviously there's going to be overlap between the writers for Ahsoka. Dave Filoni is going to know what the Bad Batch writers are doing, but they're going to want to keep the fate of the mountain vague, so you don't know if the Bad Batch end up blowing it up or not. I kind of hope they don't, and I hope it does become part of Thrawn's plan later on. But excuse me. I don't know if it'll actually be that significant in the first season of Ahsoka. But my understanding is we're going to see a lot of Thrawn. He's not just going to be in one season of Ahsoka and that's it. He's the Thanos level villain who's going to be showing up in lots of things. We've got there's supposed to be this Dave Filoni is doing his movie at some point, and it's all of the shows centered around the Mandalorian, so including Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew, the Book of Boba Fett, and anything else that we don't know about yet. Is all going to lead to his film. So Thrawn's obviously going to be around until then. Brandon, hello, welcome. I'm afraid you missed the commentary, but after I finish the stream you can go back and watch it. It'd be nice to see Mount Tantus play a bigger role. That's a good point. In foreseeable Season 2 of Ahsoka or another series that continues the story, they might return to Mount Tantus after the Bad Batch settles the fates of Crosshair and Omega. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Brandon, I think a lot of people have recently found the channel, so I will welcome you to the channel. I'm guessing you found it around the time that the Ahsoka trailer was released, because I've seen a huge influx of people to the channel since then. So welcome. I stream usually for an hour every Monday around now. It's usually behind the scenes stuff for Heir to the Empire. This week I'm recovering from COVID, so what I did is a director's commentary on the re-rendered Chapter 1. Next week I'll probably be back to working on Heir to the Empire properly. So yeah, welcome. So that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, I think the second season of Ahsoka is probably inevitable. But I think they're going to have it so Thrawn's going to show up in not just Ahsoka, but probably Skeleton Crew and future seasons of The Mandalorian, and they've probably got other shows that they're working on that they haven't announced yet, and that should all. I think Thrawn's going to be making his presence felt across a lot of that. Lord Cranio, this looks great, thank you. You have also just missed the commentary, but if you go back and check the stream after I finished, you'll be able to catch it. And you can find This chapter 1 special edition, it's on my channel. You can just watch it without me talking over it. Anna, that Star Wars girl. Oh. I did not know she'd been talking about me. Let me write her name down, because I feel like I should look her up, see what she had to say. Thank you, Hubert, and welcome. So I tend to post my stuff, and then I'm working on stuff, but I don't always know when other YouTubers are talking about my work until someone like you comes along and tells me. Because I'm usually focused on what I'm doing, I don't really pay much attention to anything else, because if I get too distracted. I mean, there's so many people making Star Wars content that I don't necessarily watch it all. I usually try to keep track of the Legend videos, and you come up in my feed. Glad I clicked it. I'm glad you clicked it too. Have you watched everything yet? Because I notice a lot of people, they find my channel, they watch part 1 and then ask for more, because they haven't realised that I'm releasing chapters individually, and I'm up to 22. Part 1 covers chapter 1 to 16. So obviously there's quite a bit more story that I've finished since then, and I will make a part 2 once I finish the book, because that would be chapter 17 to 32. But obviously I need to get to that point first before I can do it. But yeah, I've noticed that not everyone realises that those other videos exist. I need to figure out how to make it that when people finish part 1, that they realise that there's more. I need to point them in the right direction and see where that's not quite working. Yeah. I think I might end the stream soon, because I watched chapter 1 and a few more individual videos so far. Okay, well, you've got a lot more to watch. So I think I'm going to end the stream, because like I said, I am recovering from COVID. I'm really tired. It took a lot out of me. But I miss streaming and chatting to you guys, because it's something I like doing every Monday. So I wanted, it's not a full hour length stream like I normally do, but even just a little while, it was good. So thank you all for coming. I do capture lots of footage from Celebration, which I might put. I haven't quite had the energy to focus on it yet. But it'd be nice to do a little sort of documentary video of my experience at Celebration. I've got footage, I just need to go through it and see if I can make something good out of it. Hopefully I can. So that'll come up soon, now that I've recovered enough to actually sit down at the computer. The last few days I slept a lot, so I wouldn't have made for much in the way of streaming or editing or anything else. So yeah, anyway, thank you all for coming. Big welcome to all of the newcomers to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Work continues on chapter 23, and may the Thrawn be with you. Take care, and see you all soon. Good night.